What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the RTG career mode. This is episode number 9. We're starting today's stuff on the back of our second loss to Leganes in the last episode. Stumbling a little bit on Malaga, still top of the table right now, but our form is starting to be a little bit inconsistent, say at the very least. So heading into today's episode, as you can see, we have 3 more scouting updates and an academy update as well, as I get through the scouting really quickly. When it comes down to scouting, like I noticed at the start of this save that we don't need the creme de la creme here, and that is true. Like Tony Flores, for example, only shows great potential. We don't have a potentially special player yet, but I feel as though when you've got like 5-star potential scouts, 5-star potential scouts, when you've got 5-star scouts that are going to pick up players with really high potential on a regular basis, your academy fills up really quickly. So I know I say this now, and it does sound as though I'm kind of going back on what I said at the start of the save, but it is the reason why I do say this to people quite often. Like, when you are scouting, be selective. Like, you can afford to be selective when scouting. If you find a player and you've only had 1 month of scouting and he's got, like, I don't know, 64 to 88 potential, don't just assume he's going to have 88 potential, because the chances are, as the months go by and you get a better look at the player and the ranges start to decrease and they start to become a little bit more accurate, they always decrease. They don't increase, they always decrease. And so you can afford to be selective, because if you have a 5-star scout, the chances are, even if they get poached, it won't take you long before you find another player with similar sort of potential. So yeah, from now on, I think, because our academy is so stacked, it's time to be a little bit more selective here with this Malaga team. Anyway, first game of today's episode, heading into this one, now just 4 points clear at the top of the table. Yep, our 9-point lead with a game in hand has now been cut to 4. Starting to struggle, starting to feel the pressure with promotion on the line. So heading into the first game today, Villarreal's B side away from home, right down the bottom of the table. We needed to return to winning ways here, and whilst he might not have the best potential, this guy has been one of my brightest players this year. Yep, Tony Flores, first man out of the academy's 8th goal of this season, right after the restart in the second half, gives us the lead here against Villarreal's B side. And you know, admittedly, recently we had that shock loss to Andorra, FC Andorra, their only win of the season so far, coming against us as bottom of the table beat top of the table. But heading into this game, I was not prepared to lose this one on the back of losing to Leganes and having 2 defeats in our last 3. So we took the lead through Flores, then hit the bar with Lagos Jr. directly from kickoff, and then it was almost like I started the second half off like just nothing like the first half in this game. You know those games of FIFA where, like, I know the cliche is that football is a game of 2 halves, but it really is true. This was one of those games. In the first half of this one, I did nothing. I did literally nothing. Didn't have a single shot in the game. Barely had a meaningful attack. And then straight after the restart, I'd scored 2 goals. First through Flores, then through Zuniga. And I'd hit the crossbar as well. And that continued as well. 10 minutes after the restart, passing out from the back. Getting out of trouble here. Really nice build. I got a little bit lucky, to be fair, as we kept possession in our favour. And as Fran Villalba goes through 1-on-1. Oh yeah, that's just naughty from Fran Villalba. You know, you see we score a skill shot game winner after a cutback, but that was just naughty, man. Rounding the goalkeeper with the step over and a nice little flick as well. I love that goal as well. Yes, momentarily for a split second I did lose possession after a poorly placed pass, but if you just say that the ball was still technically in our possession because Villarreal B didn't have full control of the ball, that's a lovely team goal there. And it is true this season, you know, we are playing a heavier possession style of play than I often do with my career mode teams. And whilst it can be quite tricky to do that with this team with lack of technical ability, when you score goals like that, it does feel really nice. Working our way up from inside our own area there. High pressure situation, passing out from the back there against a high press with the AI on ultimate. But it looks so cool when it comes off. It's dangerous when you do complete a move and not just get a shot on target, but a goal as well. It looks so nice. So yeah, great victory there against Villarreal's B side. I'm back on track away from home. So following game, now taking on Real Zaragoza. Great team for an RTG career mode. I've said before, so many in the Segunda Division. Now taking on Zaragoza back at the Estadio La Rosaleda here in Andalusia. Taking them on here. Obviously looking to make it 2 wins from 2, because we know consistency is going to be key. We need to get back to consistent form if we are to keep the chase in pack at bay. Well, much better start than our previous game. 25 minutes in, El Caruane, Sofian El Caruane gets, I think, his 4th goal of the season for us, 3rd goal of the season for us in 21 games. That's really impressive though for a left back that we're converting to a left midfielder. But again, this is exactly why we're moving Tony Flores gradually from right mid to CAM and looking for a better defensive player on that right hand side, because we need players that are good on the defensive end like El Karouani is, but don't forget they still need to provide on the offensive as well. He gets our first goal of the game, and then Fran Villalba gets another one, second in two for the man on loan from Sporting Gijon. I'm telling you now, this guy is my #1 transfer target for next season. It's so frustrating. Like, I really wish you could have like optional fees in FIFA career mode as Nacho Calderon. Yes, you love to see it. Nacho Calderon out of the academy gets his first goal, rolled through, and then pops it into the bottom corner, brought him off the bench. And what I mentioned a moment ago, there was El Karouani on that left-hand side. We want defensively solid players on those wide positions, but they still need to contribute when going forward. Nacho, at just 60 overall, has a long way to go, but that was really nice to see there. Popping it into the bottom corner as we win the game by 3-0. So yeah, back-to-back wins, delighted with that. Back-to-back wins, back-to-back clean sheets for Malaga as well. We barely had a clean sheet all season long, let alone back-to-back. That might be my first consecutive clean sheet games in a row there, so buzzing with that. And then heading into the following game here, right now, aiming to stay top of the table and clear of the chasing back. Cartagena away from home. What a start to the game, 24 minutes in. Calderon so close to his second goal in two. Great save, kept it at 0-0, but from the corner, whipped into the centre, and Munoz, the captain, gets his second goal into. I could have let him go, if you remember, after his release clause was met, but I said to Luis, look, no, you're going to start practically every game for me this season. You're a rare player in this team with technical ability, so I need you through that middle of the park. And he's got his second goal of the season here to make it 1-0. So in front against Cartagena, looking forward to our third straight win in a row, and possibly our third straight clean sheet in a row. But you remember a moment ago when I said that football is a game of two halves? It is a cliche, but sometimes it can be true. Oh my god, can you say capitulation? Because this was embarrassing. Yeah, we were leading by a goal, and then in the second half, I don't know what happened here, but you know my defense is quite bad. This was embarrassing. First and Die has his hands behind his back. It was kind of reminiscent of Virgil van Dijk against Manchester United earlier on this season here. I know Van Dijk's been a bit of a figure of ridicule this year. Unfairly so, in my opinion. Way too much criticism on Van Dijk this year, in my opinion. But anyway, it kind of reminded me of that. Hands behind the back, but he just got dribbled around there. He just got dribbled around, and eventually the ball slotted home, and then practically right from kickoff gave the ball away, and Cartagena scored 2 goals in 4 minutes to wrap the game up. 3-1 the final score. And look at this league table now. Yep, 11 games to go. Deportivo Alaves just will not leave me alone. It is so annoying. I can see how Arsenal fans feel with Manchester City breathing down their neck for the best part of, well, this whole second half of the season, really. They just won't go away. Like, they just will not go away. And from what was a 9-point gap at the top of the table with a game in hand, has now been cut to 3. I know I say it all the time, but this is proof in the pudding right there. Consistency is king in a league season. The longer the season, the more important it is. Anyway, for the following game, taking on SD Huesca, I was thinking, okay, well, if we do lose, we have to bounce back, because at the moment, it's looking very likely that we are going to bottle our lead at the top of the table when Alaves will catch up. If we do that, we'll have to stop Granada and the chasing pack catch up as well. Taking on SD Huesca here, back at the Estadio La Rosaleda. Well, we did take the lead early through El Achab with another one, the Moroccan. I've been really big on this guy this season. When I started him in place of either Lagos Jr. or Fran Villalba, he's my third choice CAM. I've converted him to CAM, but he does really well for me. Gets a goal there to make it 1-0, but very unfortunate goal to concede soon afterwards. Huesca back on level terms, shot deflected, but a rebound turned in. One of those unlucky goals there. Really couldn't do much about that, but Huesca find their leveler, and there were 10 minutes to go here. I was thinking, can we get a bit of luck? Well, how about this? Ibra Perez spots his man with a poor touch, runs onto the ball, quick little counter, rolls it through, and then Loren Zuniga with another one. Yeah, really heavy touch there. You don't see it often from the AR and Ultimate, but at this level, it is a little bit more common. Ibra Perez says, thanks for that one, mate, and eventually rolls through Zuniga to put us back in front. So once we got back in front, I was like, okay, we're not losing this game from here. Absolutely not, boys. We have got to win this game. And Loren says, Gaffer, calm down. I've got us. Puts us up by 2, makes it 3-1 Malaga, and surely surely we were going to get back to winning ways here and keep Alaves at bay. On the stroke of the arm, Mark Ramallo, our centre-half, wins it back, rolls it through to Zuniga, now chasing a hat-trick down his right-hand side. Alex Calvo in the middle, dinks it into him, and I love this little flick off here to El Ahab, who gets his brace as well. You might notice I'm doing this a lot with Malaga this year. It's called one extra pass. You know, one extra pass. I love that. I really do. It's such a selfless way to play the game of football or basketball or any team sport, really. I love that. One extra pass. Yeah, I could have finished out with Alex Calvo, but I wanted to offload instead and keep that passing streak going. So Malaga 4, Huesca 1. Surely the game's over. Or so you'd think. 5 minutes to go. Oh my god. Oh my god. All I'll say is this. Thank God there was only 1 minute of added time because I surrendered 2 cheap goals right to left. What was that back pass? What was that back pass there? I've got no idea. I've never wanted to terminate a player's contract during a game before, but I was tempted there. Eventually, Huesca capitalised. Obeng scores 2 goals in the final few minutes, but thank God we managed to hold on and win by 4 goals to 3. We almost absolutely bottled a 4-1 lead in the final 5 minutes. Yeah, thank God it was only 1 minute stoppage time as we held on for a 1-goal unconvincing lead after what was looking like a really dominant display. 4-3 the final score, but at the end of the day, a win is a win, boys. A win is a win. We got away with it, but we'll take it. And for the final game of today's episode here, staying at the Estadio La Rosaleda and aiming to keep Deportivo Alaves at bay. Taking on Spencer Owens, Real Oviedo here. Taking them on at the Estadio La Rosaleda. Perfect start to the game. Ruben Castro, the veteran, gives us the lead. I love the Homer Simpson-esque celebration as well. He makes it 1-0. And then 32 minutes in, El Karawani. Mentioned him earlier. This guy's been so good for me this year. There's goal number 4 this season for the Moroccan international, born in the Netherlands, and it's 2-0 Malaga. Surely we aren't going to throw away these points as well. Right before the break, a chance to make it 3 as well. Tony Flores gets a second attempt at a cross after his first corner was dealt with, and Nacho Calderon wraps up the episode and the 3 points right before the break with what you always love to see in your first seasons. A youth player to youth player connection for a goal. Yep, Flores to Calderon. Youth Academy grad to youth Academy grad. His second of the season, his second of the episode, and 2 wins in the trot for Malaga. Yep, 3-0 at the final score. Great to get the big win there. Back-to-back victories. Great way to respond after the loss to Cartagena. But we look at the league table right now with 9 games to go. We've got a 6-point gap on Alaves, but that was the game in hand. So they're still not going away. Neither Granada, neither are Tenerife. And to be fair, all the way down to Levante in 7th, it is still a very tight league table. We've got our gap back to 6th with 9 games to go, and our form being inconsistent, we're taking nothing for granted. But that will end this episode of the RTG Career, guys. Big thank you for watching. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you for the next episode of the RTG Career Mode very soon.